Michelle, the pastor of Life Church, and the verse for today comes from 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. When Paul was talking to his protege Timothy and told Timothy this, he said, "For the Spirit God gave us doesn't make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline." I love this. Other versions translate it this way to say that our God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of self-discipline, or a sound mind. When I think about fear, I try to remind myself that fear doesn't come from God. And I think about all the different ways that fear actually robs me from giving my life or taking steps of faith that God would call me to take. What does God give us? God doesn't give us a spirit of fear, but instead God gives us power, a spirit of power. If you find yourself not wanting to do something, attempt something, to have faith, to venture out, remember, God will give you the power to do what He calls you to do. I also think about how fear has kept me sometimes from investing fully in a relationship. But God hasn't given us a spirit of fear, but He gives us love. Love to forgive, love to overcome, and love to trust again. Sometimes I feel like I'm incredibly undisciplined, but God hasn't given me a spirit of fear to keep me from being disciplined, but God has given me His self-discipline. By the power of His Spirit, I can choose what I want most over what I want even now. For me, one of the greatest fears of my entire life was preaching the Bible. I felt so insecure. I felt so inadequate. So today, whenever I go to preach, what I do is I take one step forward. I'm stepping out of my fears, I'm stepping out of my insecurities, and I'm recognizing God has not given me a spirit of fear, but my God has given me a spirit of power and of love and of a self-discipline. If you find yourself afraid of something that's holding you back, tell yourself, God has not given you that spirit. He doesn't give a spirit of fear. But today, by faith, let Him give you His spirit of power and of love